May profits be upon you. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're just making all kinds of profits. Profits, profits, profits. All right, we're going to jump right into this US dollar index and we're going to just move right through it. But we're going to do it from the top down, right? All right, we're going to start with the monthly. Let's go to the monthly. All right, what do you see here? I see a break of market structure here as price dithered and moved sideways. We finally had a breakout to the upside, all right, a bullish breakout. So that automatically makes me bullish in this market, all right. Overall, all right, this is the big macro view, all right. Price pulled up high, and then we finally started to see a pullback, all right. A pullback into what? This blue field is a bullish fair value gap, and price found support here one, two, three, four, five times, right? And then we pushed up. You can see that price gave a fake breakout, all right. But I don't look at it as fake breakouts and fake outs and all that kind of stuff. I don't look at it that way. I looked at price came up into this bearish fair value gap. And we are sandwiched between two monthly fair value gaps. That's all it is. All right. And price playing ping pong in between. All right. We pulled back into the consolidation. All right. And then you see price tap again the bullish fair value gap, tap again the bearish fair value gap. But you're gauging these reactions each time. This was an interesting reaction. This was an interesting reaction. The deal is what I'm looking at in that is, were there any fair value gaps formed in this consolidation? All right. To give us a hint as to what the intent of price is. All right. Yeah, there was one here. There was one here, right? A bearish fair value gap, but it wasn't respected, was it? Got to close above it over here. And there's no bullish fair value gaps in this move. All right. And then you have this bearish, bullish, bearish configuration here. What is that telling you? What are we supposed to see from this? Well, because we are reacting to a bearish fair value gap on the monthly, and you see price looks like it's heading towards these lows. If we just go by next candle theory, I'm thinking that this low is going to be taken out. All right, we're going to be taken out uh, uh, by the next monthly candle, which is the current one, which is this one, and I believe that the low will be taken. All right, I'm probably going to take the one next to it as well. We got 2 more weeks before that happens, but that's where I'm at on it. If we go to the weekly, what can we see? All right, let me get rid of these because we already know the monthly is there, right? If we go to the weekly, we can see all the way over here. We can see all the way over here. Price has been heading this week, the previous week, and last week, and the week previous last week, very bearish. All right, we see that there was a weekly fair value gap developed, formed, and with a clear intent for price to take out, in my opinion, this swing low here and mitigate these lows inside of this bullish fair value gap. And I do believe once price gets here that it may find support and start to turn around. But we'll cover that when it gets there. Right now, for the week ahead, using next candle theory, I'm thinking that next candle is probably going to be one that takes out these lows and maybe wicks back up towards these highs. That's just you know what I'm projecting. Okay, and on the daily, pretty much the same conclusion can be drawn. Uh, if you just look at where these lows are in comparison, I want to point out, you see how we had a reaction here to this order block here. All right. What I want you to see, this order block here, all the way over, price did have an initial reaction. It bounced on it, right, into and forming this fair value gap up there, a bearish fair value gap. Seems to be clear intent for price to go a bit lower. But what are we going lower into? A bullish fair value gap all the way over here. Once price takes out these lows, we'll be mitigating that bullish fair value gap, and I do believe we will find support there for higher prices. That's where I'm at. All right, bearish this week. Bearish to start the week, and maybe by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we may see some changes. All right. If we go to the next pair, that would be ES. That's a S&P. All right. If we go to the monthly, all I want you to see, let me see if I can get rid of this. Hi. All right. What I want you to see is price is very bullish. Last 3 weeks, last 3 months, I'm sorry. You can see with that price close, with this price close above the previous high, you can see that we are, even though this candle isn't completed, but if it completed today, this monthly candle, this would be a breakaway gap, and that I would think that price would come back. Come on, man. Price would come back into this fair value gap in order to seek higher prices. All right. Uh, bullish on the monthly. On the weekly, same conclusion. Bullish. All right. There is no other way to you know look at this really. Let me see something. How can I make all of these appear? I really don't know how. Let me see. I just got to go down. There's a way to do it, and I can't figure out what it is. All right. So on the weekly, you can see there's a weekly fair value gap here. All right. That's inside of a monthly. That's inside of a monthly. This is the monthly, and we have a weekly. This is further down the line. All right. Further down the line. Don't get caught up too much in the just marking out a whole bunch of stuff. This is where we need to be concentrating. All right, here. All right, and I have this thing up here. It's distracting me. All right, so on the weekly that we're looking at, we have a fair value gap between here and here, a bullish fair value gap, and that's supporting higher prices, period. End of story. All right. If we go to the daily, you can see that there is a daily nested within the weekly. See that? This is the daily, and this is the weekly. All right. That's going to support higher prices. You see how price made this the all time high up here, and then came back the next day, and swept that high. All right, before seeking lower prices. All right, now we have a huge pullback here, and price took out the previous daily low. I do believe if you use next candle science, all right, that after a sweep of the high and low, it's kind of hard to decide which direction price will go. What is price trying to do though? Price, I believe, is already made an external move to for liquidity. We're going to be looking for an internal move, and the internal move is here at the fair value gap, and that's where I believe we'll find support for higher prices. That's supposed to be an arrow. Do not leave a comment about my drawing, okay? But that's what I'm looking at for the S&P, okay? If we go to the very similar situation with NASDAQ, very similar because we have the breakup structure, a bullish breakup structure, so we're bullish. All right, this is on the monthly. All right, we see a push higher. We have formed a very nice bullish fair value gap on the monthly. So it's supporting higher prices, period. End of story. All right. If we go to the weekly, you can see a very nice area of fair value. There's an order block here. All right. We have a good push, a good sign of it, a good indication that price is very bullish. Here, a weekly fair value gap that price tapped into, formed this bullish candle here for an all-time high, and then price came back that very next day and took that all-time high. Great. All right. We are still bullish. Did close back within the range of the previous candle, unlike Um, what you're going to see is this is where NASDAQ and ES start to differ. If we go to the daily, I want you to see that we have a very bearish engulfer here, all right, going into a daily fair value gap. It went all the way to the bottom of it and then pushed back up from there, all right, and then we got to push down. We tapped that uh that bearish where the bearish engulfer crosses the it's some people consider this the CSD, all right, the CSID rather, the change in the state of delivery. Price came back and tapped that and then came down. All right. I think that low, the low that was created on Friday, will be the draw on liquidity as it finds itself nested inside of this daily fair value gap. All right. I believe that price will take that low and then seek higher prices. We'll see. All right. There is another fair value gap below it. All right. Price could very well take that low, wick down, and then continue up. But I do think that we'll see higher prices come midweek. All right. Monday, Tuesday, we'll probably see prices go lower in the indices. I hope that's pretty clear to understand. I want you to see something on the 4 hour though. On the 4 hour, there is a SMT. All right. Smart money technique. All right. Between the 4 hour NASDAQ and the 4 hour S&P. The S&P took that high, took the high, while the NASDAQ did not. This is a swing failure. We're going to see on this. It seems pretty certain that as price found a bearish fair value gap here on the 4 hour now. I don't usually like to do a whole lot of analysis on the 4 hour. All right, and I'm not going to do it now. But you see how price came into the bearish fair value gap, and looks like we may see price seek lower prices again to that low that I had pointed out earlier. This low is located at 20,335. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see. There's a SMT there, so I just wanted to point that out for you. Okay. If we go to what is this? This is WTI crude oil. All right. I'm going to go to the monthly. And what am I showing you on the monthly? Do I have something to show you here? No, not really. All right. If we go to the monthly, you can see how prices traveled. It's kind of been janky a little bit. All right. So we have this consolidation here, price drops. All right. And then we find ourselves since May 2020, prices made its way back up here to over $100, $112, right? All right, we take the high, take the we take these swing highs over here. All right, we didn't take that swing high though. That one is still there as a draw on liquidity. But what we have is price pulling back and starting to narrow down, doing this number. All right, if you want to count that high up there, it's doing that number. And it seems to be coiling for a nice breakout. Okay, that's what this formation is telling me. If we go to the weekly and we concentrate here, which is where we're supposed to be, uh, we see that we're not taking out the previous low, we're not taking out the previous high, we're just narrowing. All right, a narrowing wedge kind of formation. But when you see this kind of consolidation, I don't like looking at the fair value gaps and everything because they get disrespected a lot. However, you like that dramatic however? All right. However, in this case, I want you to pay special note. This fair value gap was created here, respected, and you saw price go lower. All right. From here, all right, once it hit this order block down here, it shot up. Okay. Disrespecting the fair value gap. or did it? All right. What happens is it did disrespect the fair value gap and created another bullish fair value gap. This is on the weekly now. This is on the weekly. Created another bullish fair value gap. I'm looking for price to come back to this one and seek higher prices. Why do I have so much confidence in it? Because of the old fair value gap. Some people are going to call this an inversion. All right. It happens to be at the same level as the new bullish fair value gap. For me, for me, this is kind of like a little bit of confluence to let me know that I can have some confidence in this this particular fair value gap. All right, I don't usually play a lot of inversion fair value gaps at all. But when they happen to be on the same area, I say, okay, well, that's a nice confluence. You take from it what you will. But I feel that I should have pointed it out to you. Anyway, I'm looking for higher prices. However, we got to get to those higher prices, right? Excuse me. Where's my mouse? All right, there you go. All right. So we got to get there. We have one bearish candle. All right. You see that draw on liquidity there. What is that about? Well, let's go to the daily and you'll see. All right. This is where we are. All right. Price has created a fair value, a bearish fair value gap here. We come back up into it. We've created this move here. Oops. And you see how price cleared out the liquidity. It took filled the volume imbalance here. All right. Price looks like it's heading down. And I believe this is the draw on liquidity, this swing low here. And it'll act as inducement to getting to the weekly demand. I mean, fair value gap here, this bullish fair value gap here. So if price does make it down here, if price does make it down here, I'm going to watch the middle of this wick. That's usually where you might see some turnaround. If we get past that, we get a close past that. I'm looking for this low to be the draw on liquidity and uh, price finding its way down here and then bullish. Yeah. All right. And the next one is gold. All right. Now I got to go all the way back in the time. Okay. Let's see. On the monthly, I hope that I can get this done quick because you see how we had this consolidation here. All right. Price is moving, and then we broke low in this leg of structure. I'm looking for this high to be taken to consider this a bullish market. And that's exactly what happens over here. We finally came back and price pushed higher for higher prices. All right. When we get a strong close past these old swing highs, that's what I'm looking for. The external move for liquidity has been accomplished. And now I would be looking for a pullback into an internal. And that's exactly what happened. That's why we have that bullish fair value gap there. All right. Uh, Price pull back into the bullish fair value gap. We have this beautiful move from that fair value gap here, and it went into a daily bearish fair value gap. Okay. But I don't believe that fair value gap holds. I do not. You see how we had this reaction and then a push back up. The bulls are not taking anything from the doggone bears. So I'm thinking that price will likely pull back for maybe a day or two, all right, into this area of fair value, and then we'll probably see price continue higher, breaking this fair value gap here. Okay. If I can just look at silver real quick, 30 seconds. Not You can see that we have broken out from this channel and we are dithering here on a weekly fair value gap. All right. This weekly fair value gap is going to it's going to take us higher. And this will be the draw on liquidity around 5,200, 3,200. I'm sorry. May profits be upon you. Trade safely, and I thank you for watching the video.